And we're back. We're back here at the App Stupid Studios, App Stupid Podcast. This is Big Vern. We all covered this morning Pat McAfee. We talked about him and his war against his producer, Mr. Norby Williams. We also talked about Saquon Barkley and his fight with the New York Giants, and why the Giants refused to pay a guy who just won the Good Guy Award. Makes no sense. They don't want to pay the good guy. Gonna switch lanes here. Promise you a LeBron James story. I don't like talking about LeBron James because when you do that, LeBron James becomes an instant hot potato. And it's a zero-sum game because most people say if you don't agree with LeBron James being the greatest player ever, then you're a hater. And then some people say, hey, look, he's okay, then you're a hater. It's never the thing where you can say, oh, he can improve this, he can do that. He's just going to be that issue in the room. Nonetheless, we got to cover it. So, wanted to talk to you about a situation that the Los Angeles Lakers find themselves in. LeBron James next year is going to be a free agent. And the way that LeBron James sets these deals up in his player options, he uses this negotiation tactic where he forces the organizations to get him help. That's why he signs those 3-year deals, with that third year being an option. So if the organizations, if they don't go out and get LeBron James any help, then he could be on the move. And LeBron James could very well be on the move in 2024, 2025. So I asked the question, is LeBron James' future with the Lakers in limbo? And could he be on the move again? And the answer is undeniably, I have no clue. I have no clue. But it is worth the discussion. And we'll get into a deeper discussion when we take this quick 20-second break from another unofficial sponsor of the show. Subway, eat fresh, refresh. Try the new Subway signature Subway series. Go to your local Subway, visit those good folks, download the app, or order online. Subway, refresh, eat fresh. Okay, so give you a little context and some history. Since 2010, LBJ's free agency, he's controlled much of his contracts, where we talked about previously how he would pressure organizations to get him some help. He did that with the Cavs back when Boston had the big three and Cleveland couldn't get over the hump. Cleveland, the owner, called his bluff, and then that's when you saw that big old televised event at a Boys and Girls Club. I'm taking my talents to South Beach, because he already knew what he wanted to do if Cleveland wasn't going to be serious and come to the table. You see how that worked out. In 2014, LeBron James also declined the 5th and 6th-year option with the Miami Heat to return to Cleveland. That was another weird situation where LeBron James was asked before the season, hey, are you going to go ahead and be on the roster next year with the Miami Heat? And he wouldn't give any answers. He also wouldn't give any answers to Dwayne Wade. It just seemed like this thing was going in circles and in loops. And so you start to see a pattern with LeBron James. And again, this is all fair. This isn't below the belt. This isn't me being a quote unquote hater. These are facts, and this is documented. You have the situation in 2015, 2016, where he did a 3-year deal with the Cavs, and he had the option in the third. That was the whole Cleveland, this is for you. Then he went to LA the following year. So when those things happened, and when I saw that, I was just like, LeBron going to LA, and I kind of turned my head sideways, but I was saying to myself, LeBron James is going home. This is a business decision. He just wants to be close to home. Because I don't think he lives in Akron, Ohio. I don't think he lives in Cleveland. I think he lives now on the West Coast. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. His kids were in school out there. at the time. I think him and Dwayne Wade's kid, they were at Sierra Canyon at that time when he had made the move and the transition out west. So you can see clearly the trend is forming where he's going to use those player options to kind of force management to go and get him somebody else. And my only question is, how much help do you need? They've given you every incentive to stay with the organization. You wanted Russell Westbrook, they gave you Russell Westbrook. All of a sudden, Russell is a pariah. He's this, he's that. You send him to the Clippers. The Clippers look like a whole new team around him. They bought in, they were playing well. You got Anthony Davis. He forced his way out of New Orleans to come and play with you. That's still going. And now you're trying to sit up here and strong on the Lakers again, because if you look at that current roster right now, you can honestly say this roster doesn't make it out of the Western semifinals. If they even make it that far, this year they might only make it to the second round, which that was one of my key arguments when people asked me about the in-season tournament. I was like, number one, it's stupid. Number two, you could win that tournament and possibly not even make it to the playoffs. And that's what it looks like for the Los Angeles Lakers. So that may be one landmine nobody's willing to step on. The second one is that LeBron James is looking at a $51 million player option next year. $51 million. Now, the problem is this Laker roster isn't going to get any better. It's not. It's not going to get any better. If you sign that deal, you're stuck. You're stuck in LA trying to win a championship with Hushimura. You're trying to win a championship with D'Angelo Russell. You're trying to win a championship with Austin Reeves. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. So if LeBron James is on the move, where can he go? And if you're a championship team, do you want him on the roster? And we'll address that when we come back from another quick 20-second break from an unofficial sponsor of the show. White Castles. Yes, visit the good folks at your local White Castles. Download the app or order online. The WC Lounge, White Castles. Try the crave case, the double sliders with cheese, or you can try the chicken rings. All good items at your local White Castle. All right, so before the break, we were talking about if you wanted LeBron James to be on your team. And if I'm a championship team and I have the ability to win, I don't want LeBron James there. He will be 40 years old. He is an egomaniac. And the drama show following LeBron is not worth it. The drama show associated with LeBron James is not worth it. If you got a young team, they all believe in defense. You got a couple of guys you got better in the draft. Kind of like how Ime Udoka, how he's got Houston playing with all of their role players. Houston last year was the worst team in the NBA. This year, they're about 8th or 9th in the Western Conference, which is great considering that that's a club full of young guys, young talent that's playing hard, playing through the whistle, and they look phenomenal. And when I saw who was on the Houston Rockets coaching staff, it just gave me more confidence in making them my dark horse pick that they would actually make the NBA playoffs this year. So we'll address that later. But LeBron James is going to be 40 years old. And if I got a team that's playing really well, the chemistry is there, the mood is chill, they all buy into the coach. Hey, look, I'm not going to disrupt that for LeBron James. It's not worth it. If it's worth selling tickets and you're trying to sell tickets, yeah. If you're a team that's going nowhere, like the Charlotte Hornets, the Detroit Pistons, and LeBron doesn't want to play for them. And rightfully so. He has the right to say, "Look, I don't wanna be in Detroit. Detroit is nowhere close to winning the championship." But then the other teams also have the right to say, "Hey, look, we don't wanna play with you because even though we might be 1 or 2 players away from an NBA Finals appearance, everything that you bring, that's not worth it. It's not worth it to the owners. It's not worth it to the coaches. It's not worth it to the players." Because when LeBron James has the ball in his hand, a lot of guys just stand around and watch instead of running through their sets, looking for their shots, going and rebounding and crashing. People just stand and watch. If you're a team that has that team chemistry where you got your front cuts, your back screens, jet screens, look, and he doesn't know any of that, he's going to have to go ahead and adapt to the playbook. But what happens more oftentimes than not is that you end up playing LeBron James ball. And then that doesn't work out for anybody. So if I'm a team on the verge of going to the NBA playoffs, I don't do that. I don't bring in LeBron James. I mean, look at Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham, you got all these unnamed sources, and they speaking to the Athletic and as reported by Shams Characina and Jovan Bua, says that players are having coaching staff is disjointed. The extreme rotations and starting lineup adjustment, fluctuating rhythms in several players across the roster, all the leaks in the media, the dust up, and that only happens with LeBron James. Remember, last year it was Russell Wilson. Oh, we got to get rid of not Russell Wilson or Russell Westbrook. We got to get rid of Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is doing XYZ, and he's the reason they losing game. And it just didn't do any justice. Now, was it true? Some of it? No. A lot of it was more that the media had an axe to grind with Russell Westbrook because he would get disrespected by fans and they would yell racial epithets at that man. And then he would be on TV the next morning with the corrupt sports media castigating this man and calling him everything but a child of God. And the blatant disrespect, his wife was even fed up and corrected an individual who everybody knows by the name of Skip Bayless. Said, "That's my husband. His name is Westbrook." And so, yeah, that situation. But again, it's always LeBron. That's the common denominator. And we got to be honest about that. When he left Miami, shockingly, there were no more leaks from the team to the media about the players, the coaching staff. He left Cleveland, surprisingly, no more leaks. The players, the coaching staff, he's in LA. All of a sudden, you got those same leaks, those same rumors, and things going on. And if you're Darvin Ham, you got to just be like, look, I got to get out of here. Nothing is worth this. Nothing is worth being under the microscope all the time. And you're beholden to a aging superstar who commands a lot of attention. And so when Darvin Ham is winning, not a word is said, but you go on a small losing streak and now the world is ending. Now it's his fault. Now it's the coach's fault. Rotations aren't right. Come on. And it just makes you ask questions like, how much help do you need? Are you ever going to be happy? And this is the problem that arises when management and the basketball higher ups, they start to go ahead and side with the player over the coaches. And it's supposed to be the other way around. The coach is supposed to have your full support going forward. Again, could LeBron James be on the move next year? Probably. If he does, is it going to surprise some people? Not really. Considering the Lakers, they have an opportunity to keep him there, but you have to go out and get somebody opposite Anthony Davis and LeBron James I just don't know how that happens. I just don't know how that happens. So, as always, share, like, and subscribe these videos. We'll be back after a small break. This is your boy Big Vern at the Absolute